Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we are going to discuss about the project architecture flow. The project architecture flow. In this complete video, right? So we will discuss about the complete architecture flow of a project. Within that, the tools we are using for this project is GitHub, okay, and Jenkins, Maven, SonarQube, Trivi, right. We'll use some Nexus as a repository, source code, Docker, right. We'll use Kubernetes, okay. We'll use some Grafana, okay, for monitoring, and Prometheus for metric collection, right. Prometheus. So but how these all will be implemented in a project, okay. So consider a scenario, right. There is a developer, right. There are some lot of developers in the organizations, right. So consider a developer. So I would say one more developer also there, right. So what they are doing, basically they are uploading their code into a source code repository called some GitHub. So there are other tools also there like GitLabs, right, like that. So I would say this is Git okay, GitHub. So what they are doing, basically they are trying to upload the code into a source code repository. There will be some list of files. So after that, what they need to do, so as a DevOps engineer, we need to set up a Jenkins. We need to set up a Jenkins. Consider this is Jenkins. So Jenkins server. So within the Jenkins server, right, we need to set up some integration of Maven, okay, integration of SonarQube. So what we are doing to do, we will write some stages in the Jenkins. So like the first stage will be Maven. So Maven, what Maven will do, so Maven will build the, right, will compile the whole code, right, compile the code and run the test cases, okay. Maven will do, and we'll we'll take the code, then we will do the code quality checking using some SonarQube, okay. And finally what we will do, we will check the, right, we'll get a var file. That var file we will write, right. So we'll get the code that, but we need to, before generating the var file, right, we need to check the scanning. So using some Trivi is a code quality, right. It's a code checking tool, like it's a vulnerability check, but here SonarQube is a quality check, okay. This quality check, this is for scanning, like if any bugs are, if any vulnerability issues are there, we can go for this Trivi. And once the vulnerability also good, we will use Maven again to, right, build the application. Like we will generate the artifact, and then what we will do, we will deploy that artifact, right. We will deploy that artifact to the Nexus. Why? Because Nexus is a artifactory where we will keep all the, right, artifacts, right, which will be helpful in, right, which will be helpful, right. If it will have all the previous versions of artifacts, right. So the Nexus will have, is a developer one, is a developer two, right. So we generated a, right, we right. So they will upload the code into a GitHub, and Jenkins will pull that, and Jenkins will have the, right, Maven as a build tool, and we'll use SonarQube for quality checking of the code. Once quality is good, we'll check the code checking, right. Once code is also good, we'll build the application, and we'll store that application artifacts into a Nexus. That is fine, but how customers is accessing? So if customers want to access the application, we are going to use a containerized, the microservice application, the microservice architecture. So for that, what we are doing, we are using Docker. So we will create our Docker file. We will create our Docker file in the GitHub only, okay. We'll create our Docker file in the GitHub only. I would say Docker file. So this is the Docker file. In the Docker file, to write and we'll build the application. We'll tag the application. That means we'll create an image with this latest application. And once the application is ready, we'll push that image. We'll push that image to the Docker hub. So you can use different Docker Hub registry or ECR registry or a third party registry or a Nexus also we can use it. So I would say this is some Docker Hub. So once Docker, right, once we have that, the image ready, so from that Docker Hub, so we will deploy using Kubernetes in the last stage using, right, Jenkins. Will deploy it to where? Will deploy it to, so here Kubernetes cluster. So this is will, I will say that this is a Kubernetes cluster. So once the Kubernetes cluster, right, so and then if any issues are there, it will right, send the email, your email, and we can fix it. This is your email, consider. And right, so this cluster is always monitored by what? Some Grafana is a tool. This is your email, and I would say this is a Grafana, and this is, I would say, some Prometheus also will be there for monitor. So if anyone is asking how you work with this Jenkins Kubernetes architecture, right, you can say this complete project to them. Okay, thank you guys. If you are new to this channel, please like, share and subscribe, because a lot of people are watching but not subscribing. So if you have any queries, if you have any doubts, feel free to reach to my email ID which was in YouTube description. We check that. Thank you guys.